Hello, viewers. I'm SB.
I'm Amabel.
Most of that picked up. And welcome back to Amabel Goes to Forex School, where today we're taking on a second game of Endless Legend, this time armed with a knowledge of the general mechanics and the shape of the thing, and on a considerably higher difficulty. A good knowledge of the game is required to succeed, and each error might lead to defeat. So I guess we're going to lose, Amabel.
When have you ever lost a game of any of the Endless series on during Forex School? I think you're going to win.
That doesn't make sense. So we're playing as the Tahooks, the science-focused faction here, against a bunch of people. This time on a world size more appropriate to the number of players. And without any further ado, let's go. Through our reverence, we make them proud.
And no necromorphs. Necrophages.
And no necrophages this game.
Necromorphs are something different.
For those who know how to see. Of course, we predicted the starfall with our sacred oculus, the great lens given by the holy sages themselves, the endless. For we have studied their signs, yearning to make them proud through scripture and science. But other signs we did not see. Their departure, the rise of the waters. Regardless, we must not despair. We have not lost the sacred oculus, nor our guiding truth. And one day we will once more bask in their light. Perhaps even ascend to their heights.
It was awfully quiet. But it's time to prepare for their return. Turmoil has come to Sayata, yet in the heavens we have seen signs of their impending arrival. Stand strong, smite your enemies, and raise cities worthy of their gaze. When your faith wavers, Tahooks, remember, the night is always darkest before dawn.
There are two things I want to point out right away.
Go ahead.
First, we now know that they just have very tall hats, and their heads do not have the hat shape.
Okay.
Secondly, in the opening cinematic, they capitalized the T in there to refer to the Endless, except at the very end when they said we might ascend to their heights, and I think that's an interesting choice.
I think it's an accident, but you're right. If it's on purpose, it's kind of interesting. Like the moment
theologically,
the moment you consider yourself as capable of being equal to the god, all of a sudden the god loses that capitalization. But I bet it's an accident. I bet they'll correct it once they notice it.
Also, the voiceover I thought the voiceover is so good, and that like all the production. Sweetie, this game is so good.
You know what the voiceover is not good at? Being the same volume as the rest of the game. Got him.
Yeah.
So hey, look, it's a village full of Amazons. Stranger, you come to us at a delicate time. My strata age and crack. I show the marks of the passage of the rain. In brief, I am old. Well, this could hardly come as a surprise. True, soon I will ossify and join my ancestors, forever a part of the landscape. Why then is this time so delicate? I do not know where I may join my ancestors, for their remains are lost to us. Our landmarks and signposts have fallen beneath the waves. We have lost the paths to our own reliquaries. Its location is mentioned in one of the old places, but for the ancients studied and catalogued us with great interest. But those places now lie below the seas, or are stalked by monsters. Well, our soldiers have the necessary skills to investigate. I wish you luck, Tahooks. It takes courage to search the old places. So search the Pit of the Ancients for pacification and also 15 titanium. The Pit of the Ancients being east considerably.
Okay.
All right, so we're just looking for a place to set down that initial city. We probably don't want to wait too long, but This prepared settlement bonus means we don't necessarily need to put down right away. We have an interesting anomaly up here. The origin of this impact crater is unclear, but the fused rock and deep walls give it excellent defensive qualities. Let's just split our folks up and have a look around. Actually, never mind on the splitting our folks up. We'll split up, later, next turn, after we've managed to cover some distance. Ooh, the river source. Water flows from Sada's depths and feeds into the ocean so steadily that it seems almost unnatural. Almost. So the river source tile has a crazy amount of bonus food on it, which is interesting. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is a turn one settle situation. I mean, this is like okay.
Yeah.
We have the anomaly. We have a 3 resource tile here. I guess it sucks that there's another region pumping into us, but we could just add that region to this city eventually. It's not ideal though. The river source, unfortunately, is near a lot of like unusable terrain.
Yeah.
I was debating whether to have that guy start building a bridge, but I think just remerging and going around the river source probably makes sense. In fact, I'm going to have you continue to explore northward. Look at this. Big ridges made up of very obvious fossilized something. Okay.
Well, that's crazy.
40 dust. I mean, we got to settle our first city somewhere. I don't really like any of the locations we've seen, but how wise is it to delay,
I don't know. Like what? How are you making the decision to pull the ripcord or not? Like, what are the factors you're weighing here?
I mean, mostly I'm just looking for a location that has good starting resources, right? Like, the best we're seeing is like 482. And obviously, starting near anomalies and, I'm looking at the terrain, right? I'm looking at the terrain with my knowledge of how the districts and stuff work from last time. And there's significant science benefits to building near an anomaly because every lab that's adjacent to an anomaly gets bonus science.
Right.
Tiles that have multiple kinds of resources on them also give bonus science. So like that's part of what makes something like this compelling. But overall, I'm really concerned about the raw amount of resources that we're seeing in most of the places that we've seen so far. It all just seems a little thin for growth. We'd like to have a good, healthy growth period at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so how many, like at what point do you just say, well, I can't find anything better, I go with this?
It's a great question.
Like, yeah, that's more what I was asking.
Okay, here's something. We got
a
couple of anomalies kind of nearby with bonus approval on each of them. Some of these tiles in the middle are sort of crummy, but we have industry and a little bit of food, and that's like food and industry early are definitely things I'm looking for. So that might be the spot. Yeah. And you guys can find some giant orchids here, which are kind of cool, but not going to be enough to draw me to wanting to settle in this place. Yeah, I would say like this cluster area down here is the only place I've seen that excites me at all.
Okay.
Is it a bad idea to start your city on turn 5? Probably. We're going to find out. Yeah, it's got me a little nervous. Scout the area around here. Okay, there's another anomaly up there. So the question now is where exactly? This tile has a little bit of everything and reaches out to grab the other anomaly pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of everything's not necessarily actually a good thing. Let me step down here. Yeah, the tile I'm standing on now, I kind of prefer to the little bit of everything tile.
Okay.
We're trading out...
And it's giving you more science and
yeah,
industry,
we're trading out
isn't it?
dust for science and industry, both of which are definitely more valuable than dust early on. Right here. It does mean we have to build a little bit further to access the other anomaly, but I think it'll be fine. In the time since Curator Meng, High Celestial Scryer of the Assembly, first spied a disturbance in the night skies, there has been much upheaval in the Tauk's devout and orderly society. While most believed the strange star to be proof that the Tauk's long-lost gods, the sages, were coming back to Sayata, Curator Meng had doubts. This should be studied, not worshipped. But the perishing and the devastation that followed gave Curator Meng the chance to act. In the chaos, it was almost easy to execute a bloodless coup against reigning Ecclesiarch Kasana. As the Tauks began to regroup, the Starfalls provoked fresh waves of disquiet. Officially, the Assembly considers them good omens, further signs of the Sage's glorious return. Unofficially, Curator Meng has more on his mind than portents and prophecies. Ecclesiarch Kasana, let me guess. Am I yet again in need of your guidance? How will you be helping today? Praise be to them, Curator Meng. Time has not dulled that sharp tongue of yours. I have come to urge you to prepare for the sage's arrival. Think how soon they will be here. Wonderful. Consider me urged. Do not dismiss me. Burgi, I have prayed that, as leader of your assembly, you will do what is best for Tahuk souls, and not just pursue your own ambitions. But you ignore the fallen stars. Spoken like a true Tahuk, we're the only beings on Sayata who would rather chase sacred signs than find shelter. Surely the sages don't want us to starve. But then again, our faith is a powerful force, a source of strength that no halfway intelligent ruler should underestimate or neglect. Very well. We will seek traces of the Starfalls. Now that is wonderful, Curator Meng. May the search for them be successful. May we bask in the light. So, build an observatory one time with any one of your armies. I guess the downside of this location that we chose to settle in is there's not a lot of mountains in the immediate, or ridges rather, in the immediate area. So we're gonna have to run like back to here to set up our observatory. We shall build a Sanctity of Nature, the starting city building, and I think I will focus people rather than on scribing on artisanry.
Okay. That's it. Well, usually you go so heavy on growth.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, like there's something to be considered there. We really do not have a lot of food. What I was thinking is it would be good to finish the Sanctity of Nature as quickly as possible.
yeah, No, that makes sense.
But you are right. We are really bad at producing population. I think I'm going to stick to this. Let's get this done as fast as
Okay.
possible, and then we might pull people over to food. But I want
Yeah,
I
I
want
wasn't trying to
the 4
criticize
extra
or
food from this. So
yeah, I wasn't trying to criticize or to urge. I just was asking why you were
yeah,
approaching
no,
it
I
differently,
understand.
and you explained it really well. Like you do. You're good at explaining
Thank
things.
you.
Almost like it's your job. It's crazy.
Well, there's a difference between something being someone's job and them being good at it. So we started with scientific charter.
True.
We have the ability to get labs already. If we pick up celestial scrying, which is a technology that is unique for our faction, I believe is with the little, yeah. We get +1 vision range on all of our units and +2 science whenever we, or +2 science on each anomaly, which could be cool. If we do this, we get 8 dust on the capital, and then the ability to build merchants' houses. Works districts are going to be important, of course. Farms are going to be important. It's a question, I guess, of what goes first. Honestly, maybe it's currency. +8 dust per turn on the capital is pretty significant. And then this, we had enough science in the bank to finish currency instantly. Yeah, and then I want to pick up the bonus vision range on our units for helping to keep us safe until we manage to regroup. So if we meet another player, they could get real aggressive with us very suddenly. Notice, sadly, no minor faction villages in the city's land. Going for those early pacifications, you know?
Yeah.
Discovered some shackles of the damned. It's a weapon of some kind. And you, I think at this point we can sort of work toward rejoining these two. Okay, here's some hostile folks for us to investigate. Guess we'll try to wrap around here. I wanna get a good sense of where the coastline is, and especially I want to see if there's anything interesting to see off of the coast. So when the tidefall happens, we'll have more information about land we might want to get to or take over quickly.
Okay.
Right, our celestial scrying is researched, so that's an extra point of vision for each of our units on top of the bonus science coming off of the anomaly. And yeah, let's have a chat here. You have a fine home, Ocklings. It's not much, but after the storms came, we had nothing. This place has given us hope. This place is worth defending. You sound as though you perceive some threat. The storms are over now, for us all. Look around you, Talux. Seata churns. Who knows what trials are still ahead? We must be ready. Do you have any counsel on defenses? A truly safe shelter here would be good for you, too. A bastion if things get rough enough to need it. Is it true that Suraban grows by the day? You must be worried about its security. Well, our capital is the pride of the Talux, our very well-protected pride. Make sure the walls are solid, and we'll learn from your example for our bastion. So have 1,500 fortification on your city in order to get the Ockling villages and the Raider unit, which is fine. I didn't actually look at what our...
His name is
Sorry.
His name is Sharf.
His name is Sharf.
He said, so he's the comic relief character in an '80s cartoon. Okay, that's what his deal is.
So I didn't actually look at what our starting military units look like at all with this faction.
Oh, well, maybe you should do that.
Why? We're just starting.
In case you
We're
have
just starting, you weirdo. All right, so our initial scout unit is an archer, ranged cavalry. They're classed as. Our basic unit is an infantry with defense expert and incapacitating strike, and then
that's a big weapon.
it's a fairly it's a biggish weapon. Yeah, it's interesting. And then well, that's militia stuff. Let's just unlock specializations. I thought I remembered Era 2 unlocking a new unit. I was just trying to see what our makeup is going to be over time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something you unlock manually.
Or it might have been that was a thing that was for that other faction rather than this one, or does it not work that way?
Well, but every faction will have multiple military units.
Right, but as far as how they're unlocked, would they have different things unlocking automatically, or they're all kind of equivalent?
Well, I would expect that they would at least be somewhat mirrored, but I don't know. That's part of the reason I'm looking is to.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
You say you understand that, and yet here we are.
Because I also remember you moving to a new technology era and having a unit unlocked. I thought.
Yeah, it does look like they. So we'll get access to relic keepers, which are ranged units with targeting. So yeah, they call it a unit specialization, but this is a base unit like archetype, and it is a specialization in the sense that it's one of the nodes on the tree, right? But the wording doesn't differentiate it from learning a new specialization from a unit you already have, which is a little non-ideal. All right, so build an observatory, get fortification. Well, let's take this first. Yeah, let's reunite, I think. I don't know exactly how long it takes for hostile units to start coming out of the minor faction camps, but let's try to be ready for them. Speaking of which, we have a while here where we're already going to be building stuff in the city, so I don't know that we need to pick up more districts or whatever to build. And if we're going to be picking up stuff that we don't, we're trying to pick up stuff for the reasons of the other bonuses that it gives, scavenging's hard to beat.
Okay.
We'll get back on the research track soon once we no longer have lots of other things to work on. This is close enough to finished. I wonder if I bump somebody off of that. Yeah, okay. It still only takes one turn to finish the build. We'll try to focus on food a little bit more here. Don't think there's anything else to do this turn. So I do need to put up an observatory. I don't know if the observatory wants to be in the same in a region where we have a settlement or not. Like, it might not matter, but it also totally might, right? So I'm going to err on the side of putting it in a place that we control, or a place that we're likely to control soon. Yeah, this is indeed a player border. I wasn't sure just from the bit of wispy blue we were seeing there, but we have been attacked, and we do not stand a chance here. So, as for the question of when are the AIs going to start, when are the minor factions going to start getting hostile, the answer is now. or maybe even a few turns ago. I think I'm going to have this guy just construct an observatory in these mountains because we're pretty likely to reach over and grab this region at some point, I think. So let's just commit that. It's this button. Yields. Oh, we have encountered Plerogyra the Innumerable.
Well, hey, we know that guy. He's pretty chill.
We do know that guy. We don't know if he's chill or not. All right. Building an observatory. So, we got our basic thing constructed here. I kind of want to bolster the army. Maybe I'm a little over concerned about that, and certainly it would be helpful to build some districts. But it's quite expensive, and maybe we could use another devotee, you know? Jeez, 11 turns for a single military unit. We got to get our production capacity up. Okay, some Ocklings have come after this army as well. That's going to go less well for them. Wow, our hero's getting manhandled. I'm going to take the instant resolution just in case I couldn't pull it off. Where is that? Oh, we've moved it up far enough east that it's no longer just out of the fog. Well. Okay. Harmony is a delicate thing, easily broken by careless acts like trespass. No, I hear you. We'll be leaving. I wasn't sure if this was just going to be like a site or if it was going to be a fortress. It looks like it is, in fact, just a ruin. So we can search it and get out of here.
Okay.
Can I have... Hold on. Can I please have control of my units first? Yeah, I was trying to prevent this from happening. Unfortunately, the game... Your turn starts and the game just, like, launches a bunch of shit at your screen, but the AI can still move around. I was going to try to, very quickly, grab this and then move back to my territory. Or to neutral territory, at least. Well... I mean, the auto-resolve is going to get us slaughtered, obviously. The retreat is also going to get us killed.
I guess we got to manual it.
Should be fast, at least. Do we just charge? So we have... We have fewer traits than he does, sadly. But we gotta try to keep him off the archers. Yeah, this is grim though. The damage output is very bad news. Okay, that went about how they thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating. Is there a way to change the notification settings so that it doesn't do that? Seems like I can't change anything right now. Because like everything that wants to be said to me needs to go into a button, and I need to be able to control my troops at the beginning of the turn, you know?
Yeah. Hunting
for the Starfalls has renewed optimism in the Tahuk's fledgling settlement. Every heart swells with pride at the sight of the Assembly's most cherished prize, the Holy Oculum. For Curator Meng, who spent many long and lonely seasons watching the skies, it is a particular preoccupation. Very unusual to receive visitors in the Holy Oculum construction site, Curator Meng. Profane, even, to use the greatest of their gifts to us this way. I observed the sign, and I've always wanted to explore the Oculum's power beyond celestial scrying. After all, the sages want us to learn, to follow their brilliant example. the duty of the assembly's leader is to keep the Taluk safe, care for our souls, and uphold our traditions, not develop private theories about the holy oculum and encourage dangerous ideas. Is Suraban secure, Curator Meng, or are you too busy here to think about our defenses? Well, I think you'll see that I am capable of a great many things, Kasana. I'm going to lead us to a new age of enlightenment in the spirit of the sages, but I'm going to do it my own way. And as for the fortifications, a study is well underway, but our utmost priority is turned toward the Holy Oculum. Alright, so we need to build ourselves a Holy Oculum to prove that we think it's important. Unfortunately, I really want to spend a lot of time building military units now. So this has already worked out in a pretty complicated way. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about the little hiccup there, y'all. So I was having a look in the interim as we were starting the recording back up at this observatory. This observatory is producing 10 science notice, and that science is going to the nearest city, even though it's not within our borders. If we look here, you can see in our science layout here, observatory plus 10. So so that's how those work. They just report their science to whatever the nearest city is. I don't know if it means nearest city in terms of hex distance, or if it means the city who owns the nearest region in terms of hex distance. In this case, obviously, it's going to be the capital no matter what. We're actually quite close to it. But
yeah.
So we have a horribly, horribly injured army here. We got to put our force back together a little bit. What does it cost to heal up a hero right now? I mean, I don't really want to spend that, right? I want to be using my dust on other things. We could build another observatory with dust. But I suppose we're making a fair amount per turn. I also realized, we picked up that Darkhorn from that quest. And I'm not used to the look of the resources yet, and I didn't realize the thing we picked up was a luxury. But we could be getting plus 10 industry on this city right now.
Yeah, we didn't do very many boosters in the last.
Well, we scaled our empire out of booster range very quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, you use that booster, baby.
Well, there's one other thing we could do, right? Because it is 15 Darkhorn that we got, we would be able to fire the booster with more cities, with one more city. So we could wait until we get our second city up and running and then fire it and help establish the second city while still getting a boost on the first city. And I kind of think that's maybe where I want to head. I don't know like what is a reasonable rate in this game for the establishment of your second city, but I would maybe like to have one, if only to help sort of establish for the aspects where we can and cannot go.
Yeah.
All right, so we need 3 more technologies from this era before we can move forward. It feels to me like we definitely want farms, right? And we definitely want works districts. And then this is just approval on the capital with the ability to build another 15 points of approval once per city. Whereas stonework is defense. That matters, right? That's important. We might end up, coming back and grabbing more of this stuff. For right now, I think workshop.
Okay.
Industry. Boy, food is also very important. Yeah, we're really bad at building things, though. Let's try to work on that.
It does feel like the early game you have in Forexes generally, you have a lot more trade-offs and tension as far as what to lean into. Because at a certain point, with all the kind of reinforcing like loops, you're kind of doing everything pretty all right.
Yeah,
time you
if
get later in
you
the game, so it becomes less tense. It feels like.
ideally you want it, you want to get to that place. So I'm looking around at the terrain that we see here and trying to figure out like what looks like a good spot to lay down a camp that will become a second city. And I'm kind of thinking over here
Okay.
there's a blaze grapes and a stunted copse of dust ravaged trees that have a lot of resources around them. Unfortunately, the space, like they're right on the border here, so planting the city right between them would mean the city's only drawing from 5 tiles initially, but they're pretty decent tiles.
Yeah.
This is the this is the a coral city here, so we'd be establishing a border quite aggressively if we went for that. I don't know. Maybe that's being a little too aggressive, even.
You were just hanging out to check out a site, and he beat you up.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the aspects that did that. That was neutrals.
Okay.
Those minor factions in both cases. All right, I think for the moment
that's
I'm
rough.
gonna pursue this thing.
Okay.
Oh, do we not? We don't have the ability to do dust buyouts yet. That's a thing that unlocks.
Okay.
Well, concerning.
Yeah.
Then we need to build a holy oculum. All right. So we have some tensions on our resources here. Got a flask of dust fire, which could be rad or not. I'm going to go ahead and buy our hero back. It's actually not that expensive, and I want to get us back on gaining XP and dealing damage and stuff quickly here.
Yeah.
Can I not attempt to pacify here? It looks like I don't have a parlay option. Oh no, okay. So it represents me as being able to move into the city. I guess the menu icon is there. And I was thinking that because if you can move on to a village, it means you don't have the menu. But I guess
Okay.
I missed that the little menu icon was displaying there. Dark times, dark times. Do you not sense it too, Tahooks? Well, every moment has its dangers. That may be so, but here and now, talk of war threatens these lands. Sayata itself darkens, the seas, the skies. We, the Ocklings, want no part of this. Well, nor do we. Our visit is peaceful. We wish to work with you, for the good of Sayata. Work together. Yes, together. For I fear a terrible conflict is coming. Well, it should be no trouble to raise a lookout. We will be reassured when it is done. Then we can work together. So they want me to build a keep. It's worth noting that the other Ocklings region, remember they wanted us to dramatically increase the fortification of our city. So
Yeah.
this will probably get us on both sides of that, and we could definitely use a little bit more friendship in the region.
They're both named Sharf.
It's a common name.
Okay.
Sharf is like the Bob
Okay.
of their culture.
I didn't realize that. I'm learning so much.
So they have a unit now in our territory here, fully inside of my borders.
That's not great.
They get to yell at me in these situations. Do I get to yell at them?
What of Sayada's future?
Declarations, open borders, closed borders, unjustified war. It looks like, no, I am not allowed to needle them about their dude being in my territory. I mean, we have not formally closed our borders, and I suppose that's an option that we do have.
Can you non-aggression treaty?
I guess they did attack us. I don't remember. We could try. We could see if they're into it. They will accept without any inducements.
So,
Okay. We can still attack them inside our territory and, vice versa, but no longer can we harass each other in the neutral zones.
Okay.
Signing this treaty will give additional dust and influence incomes to both empires based on the quantity of coral exploited by the non-aspect empire.
That's pretty good.
What does it mean to exploit coral as the non-aspect empire? Does it just mean, do we get something out of having coral around?
I guess. That's how I'm reading it, but I don't know for sure.
They would accept a cartography exchange. That's interesting.
Will they accept open borders so they won't attack you next time you're...
Well, this is...
you're trying to...
we accept.
Yeah. I can declare my borders open.
Oh, you can't ask them to... Okay. Well... Okay.
We might have to get further in our technology to ask for certain kinds of things.
Well, that makes sense.
So, there are a few places up here where there's like a lot of interesting resources, but they're like right on the edges of the regions. Like if you want to build to take advantage of this impact crater, the only place you can put the city down is here, and then it only gets 5 tiles in total. But obviously you could fix that to some degree by then attaching the nearby region, right? Sinra is nothing special strategically. But it would allow you to take a good advantage of this because both of these tiles are part of Sinra. And then you could build up toward the blaze grapes over here as well. I don't hate that.
Okay. I definitely think that the cartography exchange did better for you than it did for them.
I'm going to pick up stonework. I know we just signed a non-aggression treaty, but let's make sure that they don't think it would be a good idea to come at us.
Yeah.
I was going to run away. Well, now I'll be running away for sure. But the wrong direction. Yeah, that's not ideal.
So you're a pretty rough spot already, it feels like. That difficulty is
They will give us 120 dust to take this. I accept. They would also love to share research.
For your consideration.
So science bonuses to cities on both sides. Texts discovered by one empire are cheaper for the other empire. I don't have a good sense of how technologically advanced they are, but we are the getting science people. They probably have enough bonuses in the early game that this is good for us.
Well done.
Okay.
But I don't actually know how AI bonuses on different difficulties work in this game. It's just like, that's guesswork on my part.
I'm sure there's a place we could look it up, but
I
you wouldn't really
don't
be
know
interested
that there
in that
is.
so much. Okay.
Amabel,
Okay.
this game is in early access and it's changing all the time.
Okay.
Amabel,
Samhain. Bones.
damn.
I'm doing your first and last name because you have
Yeah,
less syllables than I do.
Apparently, I
I've
get
hogged all the syllables.
Oh no. They camped in the region one of the regions I was gonna camp in. And they didn't even do it in a smart place. You fools.
Well.
Well. Yeah.
They sure do like spreading quickly.
I think that behooves us to claim this area even more, right? Because Godarge, like if we own Patong and Godarge, we own the north coast to the south coast. Here we have just a vertical line of, and hopefully that will stop them from settling west of us.
Okay.
But now we have to probably settle in a different location than I was intending to. I guess we could grab this and just have it attached to the capital for now, even. I mean, I do want to get a second city online.
Yeah.
I don't know. And this little group of Aucklings we have to be like pretty careful about, because right now they're a serious threat to us. You know what? We need to, like I said, I wanted to be on food for a while there, but we gotta get this soldier done. I'm trying to unite my hero and this scout in order to make life safer for both of them. All right, got access to our defensive buildings. So, one more technology until we are out of this era. Civil order is probably going to be important, but I think we can't skip farms for right now, right?
Yeah. Take care of some of that food now you move people to the artisans.
Okay, the aspects have come along and annihilated that army for us. All right, next turn we'll figure out where exactly we want to put down here. $11 food. So we could fight them for the area, right? They just have a coral spore. They haven't upgraded it to a camp. It does feel like that's gonna cause a little bit of a rile.
Maybe.
I'm going to make for the place where I would put down that camp. And we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to be maybe a little more aggressive than I would ordinarily be. We're going to learn what we can and cannot get away with.
Okay.
Plus, one thing I like about this is that it runs our army back toward the capital at the moment that the new unit is coming out of the capital. So we can gather up a little. The historian. Look at this stranger. By the Old One's grace, your soldiers are trampling on history. Literally. Excuse me? Watch your words, centaur. Apparently he's a centaur. This art does not convey that.
Also, it feels a little rude to just call someone, like...
Hey, shut up, two legs. My name is Rubik Wedra, a historian extraordinaire, and sworn enemy of the consortium. Sworn enemy? Aren't you of that tribe? Oh, those spear jockeys are capitalistic pigs, only caring for how much dust they can make. I am pursuing higher things, like the truth of the past. I'm a little uncomfortable with spear jockey.
I am too. It's not great.
And this site is important? Well, of course. On this load, I believe I have found archaeological evidence of the Old One's first dust surveys on Sayada. So, will you help me unearth, rather than trample the truth? We do like to know the truth, probably. Right?
Yeah.
Archaeological evidence of stuff having to do with the Lost, or with the Endless, is something that probably is really important to us. So
Yeah.
we can assist. We'll get a little bit of extra dust for the city. We can seize it, taking a really significant science penalty in exchange for some immediate dust. Or we can collaborate and gain ourselves a scraper. It's weird that partner and assist are different. Are these not, us going together to do the thing? I mean, I think a collaboration's in order.
Yeah. I mean, I read assist as providing you some assistance, and partner as like, oh yeah, we'll get in on that. This is our project too.
Okay. What if we pledge to help you unearth the past, not only here, but all across Sayada? I would be honored and also somewhat perplexed. What would be in it for you Tahooks? Well, we would equip you, feed you, grant you freedom to research in your free time, but you would serve us. Then I am on board. All right, we made friends. We got ourselves another military unit. Okay, and all of a sudden we have, something approaching a functional army, leaving us free to build districts and whatever. So, our Holy Oculum gets science, +4 science for each adjacent laboratory. Okay. So actually, we wouldn't want to build that there, because we want to build laboratories adjacent to the anomaly. So we would want to build the Oculum, like, here. Or, honestly, there. Am I allowed to do that? No, we can only buy adjacent to... Actually, it's not clear to me why I can buy this tile but not that tile. Because that tile is 2 out. I guess it's because the impact crater is unbuildable, so we can buy the tiles next to it, because it is as built as can be.
Okay.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Alright. Well, then I'm just going to build my Oculum here. We need to get that done to move our faction quest forward, and then we'll worry about the fortifications afterward. But I would do it in the opposite order if I thought we were if I thought we were in any danger, immediate danger from the other player here. So we've entered a new era, gaining a new unit specialization, a new unit basically. Extra military discipline, including a unit slot for each army, and a new hero, who will, in fact, just fold into the new army. Okay, so Sinra is currently a disputed territory. I mean, it's not really. It's not. The way this works is their thing would have to be, they'd have to pay to upgrade it to a camp, right? We play. Yeah. Fortunately, we played as them, so we know this mechanic. The question is, do we want this merely attached to the capital, or do we want this to be a city unto itself?
Well, at the current rate, that would take.
Yeah, it's going to be... We need another 38 influence before we can do that. So it's going to be 5 turns. Provided nothing else eats up any influence, and provided we don't find any more influence, like in a ruin or something. If we just attach now, it ends the threat, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it probably redirects their settlement stuff entirely. I'm just thinking ahead about, like, where do we want to expand what? I kind of would like to expand Patong into Omdor, in part because we're going to pacify these villages, and then we'll have the population, you know.
Let me ask you a timing question.
Because we're definitely going to protectorate the Aucklings, right? We're going to make the Aucklings a protectorate.
Yeah.
Since they're on both sides of us here. They fold in very nicely. What's your timing question?
So, their steps are they're going to have to turn that into a camp and then turn it into a city or attach. Can they do those two things on the same turn if they have enough resources?
I don't think they can turn this into a camp now that we have a camp in the region.
Oh, okay.
I think they would have to remove our camp first. If my understanding.
Well, yeah,
of the
then I
rules
think you're
is correct.
safe to wait the 5 turns then.
Well, yeah, we'll see. The longer that they are in this sort of like we can almost get it state, the more incentive they have to try to do something. And do something parentheses spill blood. How I want that to be heard.
I feel they look like they're going to be friends. I think I have a good feeling.
As
I
long
think
as
you
their
should
army
trust
is bigger than ours, we cannot make such assumptions. So, where is the ability to buy stuff out with dust? That lowers the cost of the camp action. Lowers the cost of the bribe action. I don't see it. City cap. Yeah, that's all. It's all other stuff. Do you remember at what point in the game we got it?
I don't, but it didn't seem like it was this far. It feels like it'd be one of the economic ones, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Like, just the Tahoks don't have it or something. You know?
Yeah.
Unlocks evolutions of observatory. That's interesting.
So we don't know how their religious stuff works yet exactly because
Right, we're building
that's for monsoon time.
Well, no, it's because we don't have our oculum yet. We're building it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so for the moment, I'm inclined to just grab Collective Will here as our first tech. It gives food and industry on the capital immediately when it's completed, and the blast furnace is a fantastic building. And we're picking up a new hero. So Dahaga, we have 1 ranged unit available here, and I'm inclined to take the ranged unit just because I think we badly need more ranged.
Okay.
The new unit type that we just unlocked is an archer, or the new the new unit type we just unlocked is an archer. But currently we are all melee, and we have a melee initial unit and stuff.
Yeah.
A philanthropist plus 5 approval per population on destitutes. Population who exists beyond the edge of your vocations. That's interesting. Not to say that we necessarily would ever make this person a counselor, but if we pick somebody who, was a good counselor, obviously.
That wouldn't hurt, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take you. So you are going to run to catch up with them. We're gonna have a nice 5-unit army here. You two are going to be friends. So plus 20% damage on each. And yeah, now we're ready to now we're ready to fight. The only stat we have is determination. That's interesting. Bonus damage when attacking units with status effects. When gathering a curiosity adds 2 movement points to all units of the army. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's go terrain logistics. All right. Yeah, then at some point we got to put down a thing at Good Arch. All right. It does feel like we're advancing a bit slowly.
Yeah.
Slower than I would
you're
like.
you've made quite a bit of progress on the research track compared to, I think, this many turns with the aspects. Because you have the research thing to lean into more.
Yeah, we were certainly researching things slowly. Like what I kind of want to do here.
Quest canceled.
Yeah. This quest, the Bastion. Okay, the villages were all destroyed.
Oh, okay. Well,
we can no longer pacify them in that way.
That's unfortunate.
All right, I'm going to put down a camp here. So they are expanding upward to Sikwion, but we're going to grab Godarge, and hopefully that'll be the end of it as far as this competition goes.
Okay.
Okay, this time we can just devour you. Really? The one unit's going to take all the damage? Hold on. We can defeat Sharf.
We're gonna mess you up good and proper.
We can defeat Sharf in a way that doesn't make that one unit have to suffer everything. Mostly I just don't want to take a ton of extra damage on we're just out of range on the most injured unit because that's going to slow down our total healing rate.
Right.
So you guys are going to come over here and be safe. All right. Thank you for spreading it out, friends. So for you, we will run up on the high ground. Yeah. I'm much happier with this distribution of damage.
Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. Probably turn off the resource grid at this point. All right, I'm hoping that we've set a solid boundary with these guys that they're not going to be too resentful about.
They seem really chill to me. I'm sure it'll be fine. This vanish seems pretty okay. Just an in-combat teleport.
But find and learn is, you know what? This army is going to be so good at collecting curiosities. So I'm a little annoyed that we didn't get the pacifications of those villages down there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if leaving these ones up until we do finish the quest is also asking for them to get deleted by the aspects, because it's going to be a minute before I'm building that keep. Even if I do
Yeah.
build it right after the oculum, it's still going to be a minute. Not really sure. All right, well, I do think that we should probably... we don't have a ton of stuff to pour our dust into right now, but we could build some more observatories, potentially.
Okay.
So let's go see about that. Are they one per region? They can be built on a ridge. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't say. Yes, this territory already has an observatory.
Okay.
But we should try to get one per region with ridges,
Right.
right? Okay, so you're constructing that, and you know what? Actually, maybe the clarity of a little bit of a short-term goal here, a mission to establish as many observatories as possible across our little island here, is how we should pick up next time. I think we're going to go ahead and call it right here for today. Thank you all so much for bearing with us as we get into this second game. I'm excited so far. I'm excited to see how this faction turns out. I think it's too early to really make any kind of judgments. We got to see this oculum system in play. This seems like it's going to be really important, and it's probably bad news for us that I'm building it so slowly. But we'll get there. We're going to get there when we get there. So come back next time to see us get there, and we'll see you then.